notorious for leaking. Whoa! Huh. Hi, I'm Darren, an untrained amateur who's determined to save one of the last of these classic cars. This is Roy, a 45-year-old 2.8 litre Vauxhall Royale coupe. When I owned one 30 years ago, they were rare. Now they're unknown. This is one of the last of its kind, and I'm going to rescue it and relive my youth. Follow the rebuild, watch this legend come back to life. Right, morning everyone. Waiting for the new engine to arrive this morning, so it's while I'm waiting, I've still got some ancillaries and things to take off this old one. So we'll get this stripped down and then we can mount the new one on the stand when it arrives and take a look at it. So we've got things like the timing cover, the oil pump, distributor, water pump, all of those are going over to the new engine. Now it could be a left-hand thread, this, so I'm trying it both ways. Yeah, it is a left-hand thread. That makes things easier. Right, let's get this fan belt off. So this was the new fuel pump that I fitted, but it doesn't seem to be doing very much. And I do wonder whether we're going to find some damage on the cam that runs it on the bottom of the distributor, because long-time viewers will remember that when I first bought the car, the fuel pump that was on it was kind of put on halfway like that and then tightened up really tight, and it bent the flanges, and the actual fuel pump drive showed a bit of damage. So I wonder if this is not quite pushing like it should. I even think there might be a spacer missing, because my bottom end engine gasket set has got a very thick gasket for this. But I have, from the chap in Germany, I have got a blanking plate so that this can have a mechanical fuel pump delete, and we'll just use the electric. I tell you what, while we're at it, let's start draining the oil, because it's full of oil still. That's very interesting. Very interesting indeed, because this thing has done approximately 10 miles and some running around and some running in the garage on this oil. This was a fresh oil change. So it ain't exactly done a lot, but it don't look happy. That really does not look happy at all. That's got very dirty very quick. Let's just rotate the engine a bit, because then it'll drain the other side of the sump. Oh, that needs some grease, that does. Yeah, remind me to grease this engine stand boss before we mount the new engine. I'm relying on you to do that, if you don't mind. Okay, not having it. Yeah, we could do something incredibly smart here. And put something through one of the torque converter holes. There we go. So I just put that through the starter motor hole and through one of the bolt holes of the torque converter, just to stop the engine from spinning. These are those hammers that have got shot in them, so they give a really dead thwack. I expected that to put up a lot more of a fight. This engine's been apart. It's coming apart too easy. Bottom seal's leaking there. So this is good that we're doing that. Right, let's whip that water pump. This is a thing where I bought replacement bolts for this because I assumed I would break them. They're aluminium, so they're steel bolts into aluminium. They have got no business in coming out. For any normal vehicle, these would all snap. Unless I'm right and it's all been apart recently. See, I'm using a 1/4 inch socket so I don't give it too much welly. These have got no business coming out. They should snap. That's not logical. This has been apart. I got these bolts from the guy in Germany because they're not standard. They're M7, which is weird enough, but they've got a fine thread, apparently. See, I mean, look at that. That should have snapped. Some of these long ones, they're not just holding on the water pump, they're holding on the timing cover as well. That's going right the way through there. That gasket's been reused. It's damaged. You see there, the top's come off of it, and that's not been done here. That's where it's been used before. I've just noticed what's missing. There should be a rubber seal in there. See, I've got all new guides, came from Germany. Because Derek advised me that they fail. Apparently the timing chains stretch as well. Okay, new engine's arrived. So just for a laugh, let's see how bad these bores are. I've set that to 92 millimeters, which is the nominal bore size. And I've used that to set that dial gauge to 92. So when it sits right there on 0, that's 92 millimeters. Anything more is oversize and anything less is undersize. So we look like we're 4.04 of a millimeter under there, and there even more. That's 0.2 of a millimeter under. And that's correct up there. So yeah, sorry, I got that the wrong way round when I explained it. So if we look at the top of the bore there, where it isn't worn, check this. Yep. So yeah, so down there we're worn by 0.04 of a millimeter. And up here by about 0.15 of a millimeter. At the top, side to side by about 0.12. That one's really bad. That's worn by 0.5 millimeter nearly. That bore. And so is that one. Yeah. Can't see any markings on the pistons to say what they are, but yeah, so it's quite worn. Right, let's get the last little bits and pieces off this, and I'll pop the new engine on the stand and come back to you when we've got the new block on the stand. Okay, so the new engine's here. It's taken me a couple of hours to get it off the pallet and get it on the engine stand. You didn't get to see me unpalleting it because this isn't an unboxing channel. And if it ever turns into an unboxing channel, I shall stop making videos immediately. First things first, I've got some degreaser. Let's give it a good clean. because as part of this I want to get it painted. Mainly because these are notorious for leaking. Whoa! Oh. I knew it was strong. But wow! I didn't know Draper made bombs. Oh. What was I going on about? Yeah, these are notorious for leaking all over the place, leaking oil. So if it's nicely painted, we should be able to see if it is. Behind me is a parts washer that I got. It's only a small one, but it's brilliant. And the bolts are just going straight in it. I know. Oh, that's lovely. Look at that. That's way better than mine. Oh, we might use this. Mine is much more gungy than that. That's my one. Much worse. Pulley bolt in it. Turn it over a few times. This sounds like I'm saying something wrong, but I'm not. This feels tighter than my engine, my old one. My old one turned very easily. This has got a nice bit of resistance to it. It's smooth, so nothing's binding. It just feels a bit more machined to itself. It's a lot less carbon. I think we've got a piston mark there. It does look like 01. And 01 is a bore diameter of 92.01. 92.01 bore diameter. Which in imperial, because these micrometers are in imperial, is 3/6/10 622 and 4/10 of a thou, which is that. Right, that's bang on. So .0 0.3 of a millimetre of wear, and it's straight. And it's round. That one's got 0.1. That's got slightly more. That's got sorry, that wasn't 0.1, that was 0.01 of a millimetre. That's got 0.3, sorry, 0.03 of a millimetre. 0.03. So they're about 0.03 of a millimetre bigger than they should be with the wear. You can still see the hone marks on it. We compare that in the edit. I'll put some shots of what I saw in the other one, but it's significantly better. Significantly better. There's no rust marks in it. Identify which one's got the most wear. That one's actually, let's do it from the front. So 0.03 in number 1, 0.03 in number 2, 0.03 in number 3, 0.015 in number 4, 0.02 in number 5, 0.03 in number 6. So if we pop 1, 2 or 6 and see what the ring gap's like, then we'll know. Because, you know, does it even need rings? It's probably foolish to go this far and not do them, but then again, it depends if I can get them. Let's have a look at the bottom end. Yeah, a bit worn, but again, crank journal, beautiful. 2046-3. They're good, they're in. They're definitely standard size though. Let's have a look at the ring gap. 2 pistons out to have a look at.
Yeah, there is, but honestly...
So I just pushed that ring down there, and now we can measure the gap. Or at least we could measure the gap if we had any feeler gauges here. But I think they're in Roy's boot. Let's see if we can improvise and get a rough idea. The ring gap should be anything from 13.8 thou to 21.7 thou. So What have we got that's thin? Actually, that washer fits very nicely in the gap. So, zero point zero 5 1. That's 55.1 thou. And the top end of the gap is 55. So it's just on the end that on the side that needs doing. That ring significantly smaller gap. This is real bush engineering, not doing it without feeler gauges, but obviously I'm not going to fit a set of rings like this, but that is 23.2 thou. Sorry, that 55 thou was completely wrong. I was reading the millimetres. It's 0.55 of a millimetre. The top end of that should have been 21.7 thou. Even that is too big. And that Stanley knife blade is loose. And a Stanley knife blade is 1, 2, 3, 23, 23.2 thou. 21.7 is the max. So if you can get that Stanley knife blade in, too big. And you can get a washer in that one. So
every month, that's all me and Ross get. The rest of the people don't have to. So in our bank account, there's a load of pots. And the thing is, like, now you've got.
yeah, so I think it needs a set of rings. That would be a good idea if I can get them. We worked out the big end journal and decided that they were standard and just under, or just on the limit of what's acceptable. So let's just have a look at what the bearing wear is. Because the big end, so the big end should be circa 2 inches and 46 thou. Okay, so that is now 2 inches 46 thou. So we've got 0.09 of a millimetre, nearly a millimetre of clearance. So yeah, it needs bearings as well. It's not nearly a millimetre, you knob end. It's 0.01 of a millimetre. It's 0.09 of a millimetre. It's nearly 0.1 of a millimetre of clearance, not a millimetre. Okay. So if possible, set of bearings. come. Let's have a measure of one of them main bearings. Let's see what they are. Should be if it's standard, it's 51.9 millimeters and some change. If it is, sorry, that's big end, ignore me. So most of them are 58. They're between 57.987 millimeters and 58. No, that's the last one. The rest of them are 57.987 to 58.003. Yeah, so that last one is not allowed that extra 0.03 of a millimetre, probably because of the oil seal. 0.27 plus 8, 275 plus 8, so that's 285, 283, 283, dead in. It's allowed to be 2.283 to 2.286, and I've got 2.283. 2. Thing we needed to know was everything is standard, so we're looking for standard rings, standard mains, standard big ends. Okay, so all in all, I think we've got a good base to start from. Yeah, so all in all, I think we've got a good base to start from. We've got good bores, we've got good pistons, the bores are straight, they're not overly worn, it needs new rings, fine, put new rings in it, and it needs new big end and main bearings. And frankly, when you've got it apart like this, why wouldn't you? So if I can get them, I'm putting them in. We've yet to look at the cylinder head, but I don't see that's going to be particularly problematic. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is go home, try and source these bearings and rings, because they might have to come from Germany, so it'll take a while. And then tomorrow we've got basically the biggest pile of washing up that needs doing, because everything that came off the old engine is absolutely filthy. Everything needs to get cleaned and put away, and then this block can be cleaned and painted, and then we can start to build an engine, and we can start to build it in a nice clean way with nice clean parts. And yeah, all in all, I'm very pleased. Derek, you've done me a solid, thank you very much. Yeah, and we'll, because we can give the balls a quick home, just take the glaze off them, clean up all the pistons, give it a bit of a decoke. Not that there's much carbon on it anyway, and a new set of rings and a new set of bearings and lapped in valves. Roy ain't going to know what's hit him. He's going to feel like a spring chicken again. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next episode where we attack the washing up and start painting the engine block.